this is going to be one of them videos where it's like, I really don't want to make it, but someone's got to say something about it. So this video is about where I live, Joy. And you know what? It is about time that someone actually went vocal and said, we've got a problem here, because nobody is doing it in this town. People moan about some of the things about the town which, you know, kind of get to them. But my problem is with the town itself, like near enough everything in this town. I live in a town which is called Skelmersdale. We are located, I think if you're driving, it would take about 20 minutes, half an hour to Liverpool. Probably just a little bit longer to Manchester. We're kind of stuck in between. We come under West Lancashire Borough Council. And the only main bit of history that I know is that when was it? It was something, I can't even remember when it was. Something like 1906 or something stupid like that. But Skelmersdale was actually listed in the Doomsday Book. And that's kind of ironic because this town is seriously doomed. Now, the main reason I'm starting this rant is because it's been announced today that the Cooperative Bank, who is obviously a banking company based in the UK, are making cutbacks. They do have quite a big call centre here in Skem. It employs a fair number of local people. And the main thing which has been really annoying me about this news is that they're making the cutbacks today, they're making the announcement for it. And although, fair enough, there isn't going to be, you know, like hundreds of jobs lost in Skem, it's still a fact that they've been taking people on now for the past couple of months. They've been using agencies, they've been taken on directly, but now they're making cutbacks. And it's like, well, hang on. Why were you just taking on staff and now you're going to make cutbacks? That's kind of a bit wrong. That kind of leads me on to the other problem in the town, and that is obviously the retail side of things. We have in the town a shopping centre, and I use the term shopping centre very loosely. We have one called the Concourse, and the Concourse has been around longer than I ever have. And in my honest opinion, it needs to go. It's had its day, it's dull, it's horrible. You know, you only have to walk around the Concourse once and you will see why this is such a deprived area. I mean, okay, it's not full of charity shops and second-hand shops and that sort of thing. But the main shops in there at the moment are the ones that people use to live. You know, like frozen food outlets, newsagents, clothing shops, you know, household goods shops, that sort of thing. They're getting by. They're not doing enormously well, but that's it. You know, and why are people in other towns and cities going to go, well, yeah, let's go to Skem? Because Skem has nothing to offer at the moment. It has nothing going for it. I mean, my ideal thing here would be, because the Concourse is the town centre for Skem, believe it or not. That ugly building is our town centre. That's it. Okay, outside of it, there's a KFC and a McDonald's. That's it. You know, where is the town centre? You know, is that it? That's all they can offer us. And they're trying to make changes to it. They're trying to build another supermarket. Do you know what? We actually don't need another supermarket. What we need is for the Concourse to just be taken down. just take it down. It's an eyesore. It's a horrible building to look at. It depresses you to look at from the outside. And okay, maybe in like the 1700s or something, that building might have looked okay. But these days, no, it's not good. What I would do if I was in charge, I would get rid of the concourse altogether. I would build retail outlets, like maybe single or double story ones, but it would be outdoors. You know, there would be parts in it that people can look at and go, yeah, okay, that's all right looking. You know, there's loads of benches. If the town centre was given a refurbishment, that would mean that shops would come into Skem, because it would be a good business idea for them to do it. You know, it'd be a town going on the up. Whereas at the moment, this town's kind of like dead end wall. We're here. We're banging against this wall, and we are not going to get any further. Like, seriously, this town is dead. It's got nothing going for it. So, yeah, I would completely redo the town centre. And that's not to say that councillors haven't tried. You know, there's this plan that we keep getting told about where it's like so many £1 million is going to get spent on the new town centre, and, you know, this is what's going to happen and everything. But, you know, one of the first ideas for that was to knock down, like, a road, which is basically like a big enough housing estate. They wanted to demolish that, rebuild it somewhere else, but the deals that they were offering the people who were living there already were disgusting. You know, they wanted to buy the houses when the housing market had gone right down. So the council would be buying the houses for as cheap as possible. Now, I'm not going to name names, but one of my friends, her mum and dad actually own their house, and, you know, it's ex-council, but they own it. You know, they've paid off the mortgage. They own their own house, but the council wanted to buy it off them at this stupidly low rate. And then the only thing that the council could offer them would be a scheme where they would have to pay half the mortgage and half the rent. That makes no sense. These people own their house. If you're going to knock it down, you want to rebuild it, maybe looking better. But, you know, if you want to build it somewhere else, fair enough. But give them what they had. You know, you can't just take it away and then expect people to pay. And, oh, no. It was doomed from day one. And what's happened in this town centre, we've had a new part of the college built because they demolished the old one because it was like looking older than, well, I don't know what it looks dead old these days, but it was a horrible building to look at. Really, really minging. And this new part, okay, it looks good. It looks so much better than what it was. And I believe this is part of the plan for the new town centre. But since then, nothing has happened. You know, there's no areas being dug up to build new buildings. You know, there is no ground being levelled. There's nothing happening. So where is this new town centre that we keep getting told about? The other side of the town, which I am less impressed with, is the areas that the council built when Skelmersdale was getting built up. I suppose if you want to know the history about Skem, it was used during the, I think it's the 50s and the 60s as an overflow for Liverpool, because Liverpool was getting overcrowded with people, there wasn't enough housing. So they built up Skem. You know, they built up estates after estates. They literally built houses, like loads of houses within a day or two, and the houses were done, people were moving in. And while that was great for the time, what they've left us with is, well, have a look for yourself. You see, it's just no good. It's no good. And okay, they're abandoned buildings, and that will take me on to another topic as to what's happened to their buildings, and it shouldn't have happened, and blah, 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 blah. But you've got these houses, and it's like the front of the house, and this can be like a 3 or 4 bedroomed house, maybe 5 in some cases. But the front of the house is a front door a window, and that's it. It's stone cladded. It's grey. It's whoever thought that looked good? You know, it doesn't look good. It doesn't ever look good. You know, so the actual area needs work on, quite badly as well. And I know that the council are doing things at the moment to, you know, sort of bring the houses up to scratch, because people are moving in them these days and going, I don't like this place. You know, the council are working on that, and fair enough. Credit where credit's due. They are working on it, so kudos to that. The reason that I showed you the video of the abandoned houses is to kind of show you what sort of things we're dealing with here. And those abandoned houses, the sort of images that you saw, are, well, obviously abandoned because people have moved out of them. The council has this thing, and there's a house not that far from me where they've done it, and they basically have people that either move out or the council move them out, and then the council don't do anything with it. And within a couple of, you know, anything from like a couple of days to a couple of months, the building is trashed. You know, the windows get put through. Quite often, it will get put on fire. It is sad, you know. And the reason that these buildings get trashed, and the reason that we have such a problem with vandalism in this town, is because people don't have anything to do. You know, we have one nightclub which is, it's doomed, basically. You know, in the past, 5 years, it's had countless different companies own it. It's been called, near enough, every nightclub name that you could ever think of. Not once has it ever succeeded. You know, people have like a couple of months of success, and then business dies down, and they're like, we can't make ends meet, we're going to have to shut up shop. And that's the way this goes. So, you know, it needs work on. We have loads of pubs, and pubs are great if you like to go and have a drink and sing on the karaoke if you're over 18. But who are the ones who are doing this vandalism? Under 18s. Well, what is there for them to do in this town? You could go to the swimming baths during the day. Not every teenager is into swimming. Not every teenager wants to go and do it every day. So, okay, maybe once in a while people want to go swimming. What else is there to do in the town? Past me. I don't get it. There's nothing to do. And I'm not in any way giving any excuse to some of the vandalism that takes place. You know, there was an incident only a couple of weeks ago when an old woman was walking along, and I think it was 3 or 6 teenagers that had dogs with them, you know, started hassling this woman. They were asking her if she had any spare change, and when she said no, she was pushed to the ground. You know, they tried to mug her and walked off. And it's like, well, hang on. If people had something to do in this town, there's more of a possibility that wouldn't have happened. But nobody's putting anything on, you know? And if we have a town centre, properly, a proper town centre, where there are retail shops to go to during the day, there is like a cinema or a theatre or, I don't know, a bowling alley or something to do. But there is nothing. This town has nothing going for it. And it's seriously about time that the people in charge of this town, like, actually sat down with residents in this town who've been here for quite a while and listened to what we've actually got to say. Because the people in this town, like quite a lot of us, know what we need in this town, and we know what we want in this town. And that they are two completely different things at the moment. Yes, we need shops to, you know, like supermarkets and food outlets, clothing outlets, that sort of thing. Yes, we need that. And of course, in the new town centre that I'm thinking of, they would all be included. What we want is, we want retail activities. We want a cinema. We want a better swimming bath. We want a bowling alley. We want things to do in this town. but nobody seems to be listening to that area where people want things to do. So we're completely screwed. My dream vision will never happen, by the way, because the council will never get me in for a meeting and go, you know what, we like your idea, let's do it. That will never happen. We're in England, not in fucking Disney, I don't know. So, yeah, fun.